Hi guys, I'm getting ready to show you how to prepare a simple layout for your swimsuit or any type of designer collection you want to present. We're going to work with your flats, which are hand drawn, as well as one sketch. I'm putting together a swimsuit collection like you. So I'm just going to give you an example. I chose one of the swimsuits, and I'm going to use the flats that are associated with this swimsuit and show you how you can put an actual layout together. So I want you to look at this as if it's 6 swimsuits and the flats that are in alignment with it. But I'll show you the basic steps on how you can prepare it and how you can create your flats. So as we discussed, we created hand-drawn flats. Once you've created your hand-drawn flats, you'll scan the finished flats. You started out with a pencil drawing or sketch. You outlined the pencil drawing with your micron pen. You erased and just tried to get all of your lines as clean as possible. What I did do, after I was completed with my flat, I scanned it into the computer and I used Photoshop just to clean it up a bit. If I had any ink spots or if my lines weren't too straight, I just used the eraser tool to go in and erase some of these areas here, and I pretty much got it to my liking. You're always your harshest or worst critic. So, I see areas in which I can work on a little bit more, but it's fine for now just to give you an idea of what you can do. So, back to Photoshop. So, what I have here, this is my actual swimsuit, and my croaky, my girl, she's not colored in or anything like that. Her swimsuit is pretty much ready. The same type of steps that you guys did to put together your swimsuit collection. These are the actual cutouts of a magazine, pasted to my swimsuit sketch, glued down, and just put together by hand, then scanned into the computer. Only one girl, one bathing suit. This is the front half of the bathing suit in flat. So this is the top, front top. This is the front bottom. This is the back of the flat, back of the top, back of the bottom. So I'm going to go over to the front, and since I have everything pretty much lined up in order, what I'm going to do is use the crop or the marquee tool. So when you click on this little tool, little icon, you'll click rectangular marquee tool, and it'll give you the little plus sign. So you'll use the plus sign to create a rectangle around your item, the one that you want to choose. What I'm going to do is copy this side of the flat. So instead of using my shortcut tools, you can do so, but since I'm recording the screen, I'll let you know exactly what I did. So I'm going to click edit, copy, edit, paste. Now I've pasted this side of the flat. So there's actually two of these flats here. So what I'm going to do is click my move tool. So once I click my move tool, I'm going to go back and move around just to make sure that I made my copy. So the copy is here, everything is lined up. Now I'm getting ready to transform and flip this side of the flat to the other side. So I'll go to edit, click transform, go down to flip horizontal. Now what I'm going to do, instead of clicking and dragging my image over, I'm going to use the arrows on my keypad. Once I use the arrows on my keypad, the right side should align up completely with the left side of the hand-drawn flat. So I am moving it over, and you could speed it up a little bit, but I'll take my time, moving it over, just so it lands directly where it needs to land. And that's just about it. I can take it back. I moved my arrows up and down just to see, but it's a little off. And let's see if I'm satisfied. I'll just work with it until I'm satisfied with it. And right now for me, that's pretty much it. I'm satisfied with it. It's clean enough. What I can do is zoom in. So remember we talked about the navigator tool. Down to the bottom right of the screen, you should see this little mini screen that says navigator, and it shows you everything. It shows you the entire screen. As you scroll over, you'll go in, you'll zoom in. As you scroll over to the left, you'll zoom out. And even when I zoom in, it looks like it's a bit off, but let's see what I can do. So I'm going to click on it again and move my flat over just a little bit to the right. I'm still using my arrows. Now I'm going to use the down arrow. That almost looks better. Bringing it back over with the left arrow key. And maybe that might just be it for me. Okay, so now I'm gonna zoom out. As I zoom out, now I'm gonna merge down everything. I'm pretty okay with it. It's not perfect due to the fact that it's, hand drawn. If you were to do it in Adobe Illustrator, the lines will be a bit cleaner and even. But this should be good enough. So now I'm going to merge down everything. And then I'm going to click on it to see what happened if everything is merged and everything is. So now it's merged. It's all good. So now I have the front of my bathing suit. I'm going to click on the bathing suit just to give you an idea of what it looks like. Here's my bathing suit on the body. But here's the flat version laid out. So now I'm going to the back side of the bathing suit flat. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. Let's see. Okay, so it's locked, it's good to go. What I'm going to do is click on my marquee. I'm going to highlight the back side of my flat. Now this one looks a little tricky because of the bikini bottom. There may be something missing, but we'll see. We'll work it out. So I'm going to copy. Well, actually, what I did was Command C for copy, but let me do it the right way so that you can see it. So I'll go up to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste. So I'm taking this little plus over to my Move tool. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click back on the new layer to make sure that it's there. Yes, I have my new layer there. I can go back and hit step back. Let me try it one more time. Okay, so I'll click select, deselect, everything is there. So now I'm going to use my arrows to, or actually I almost missed something. I won't use my arrow. I'll go up to edit. I'm getting ready to flip it again, not edit. Give me 1 second. Okay, so something is missing. I see what it is. So let me click on this layer. We want to transform our layer. So something is missing. Let's see why my transform button didn't come up. So what it did, it completely took me back. When I went back and hit edit and undo, it took me back from pasting my image. So I'm going to do another step back. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now it's selected. Let me see if I can move it. I doubt if I can move it. So since it's selected, I'm going to hit edit. I'm going to copy, edit. I'm going to paste. So now we have that new baby back. I'm going to go up to edit, click transform. And since I'm clicking transform, I'm going to go down to flip horizontal. So now I have 2 layers here. The first one is covered by the new one. So I'm going to click on it just to make sure that I have it. Now I'm going to use my arrow and shift the new layer, the copied layer, the right side of the flat. And I'm going to shift it over to the right. Okay, so as you can see, there's something missing. What do we see missing? The center part of the bottom. So we can definitely create. You see there's a little gap there. We can actually create a line to connect the two. So sometimes it gets a bit tricky, but it's okay. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so what I'll do is create, let's see if I can find a little curve. Well, I'm thinking of Adobe Photoshop, but I'm sorry, Illustrator, but I can still use this. Let me go up here and see if I can find something that I can use. It's okay. I'll go back to the line tool and just create a simple line. But I definitely need to click on the box down here, which is my foreground color, because I want a black line. Remember our tools, and we use the little eyedropper to scroll all the way to the corner to give me the blackest black. I'll create my line. And now I'm going to drag that line up. It may not be thick enough. So what I can do, I'm going to press Command T, and I'm going to make it just a little thicker. Let's see if that works. And I hit enter. So I'm going to bring it up. And as a matter of fact, guys, I'm going to scroll in a little bit. What I did, I pressed Command. I'm on a Mac, an Apple computer. I press Command plus, and that helps me to zoom in. So I want to overlap that little space with this. And I actually want to duplicate this because I may need it for this area here. We'll just see if that works. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go up to edit, copy, edit, paste, and I'm going to bring my new line down. Did it create? Let's see if it created one for me. I don't know what's going on. Let me undo, because I don't like what I'm seeing here. Okay, so Command T. Command T is going to help me. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. Command T. That's my bounding box to resize my shape. And see if I can get it to fit wherever I want it to fit. And I still want a copy of that shape. So I'm making sure that I click on it. I'm going to copy it, paste. Now it should be there, and I don't know what's going on, but let's try it again. Command T. So I got something going on here. I'm not quite sure what it is. Just going to work it out until I get it. No harm in that. I'm clicking Control T again just to size it down. Still too small. Control T. I'm going to widen it just a little bit with my arrows. Enter. That's okay. I'll bring it down just a little bit. And because the pink line is brightened up, it should be dead smack in the middle. So now I'm going to zoom out to see what it's looking like. Okay. So since I'm having a problem just copying and pasting that shape, I'm going to create another line. It's okay. No problem. So that line is there. I'm going to hit Command T for a bounding box. Drag it out just to make it a little wider. Well, a little thicker. And I'm going to squeeze it in just a tiny bit. I'm going to drag it there. Let's see what happens. So I need to work on that a little bit, and I can actually make that a curve if I want to, but we'll see. We'll see if I want to go that far. I'm just zooming in. Command T. Give me my bounding box again. Bring it in just to fit in that little square. I don't like the way that looks, so I'm going to have to work on that, guys. Command T. But we will get it. Almost there. Almost there. Even this one, I want to work on that. Okay. Bring it down. Still on the bottom one. What I can do is click Shape 1 and bring Shape 1 down just a little bit. Now this looks a little better for me. I'm going to zoom out and take a look at it. So I'm going to press Command minus. Now when I look here, I see a space. I want to get rid of that space. So I'm going to zoom in again. I'm going down to my navigator. Going in. And I'm going to move up. Going to create another line. I'm not going to copy it because it seems to be giving me some troubles. That's not crooked. That's not straight. So I'm going to hit step back. I'll create another line. I remember we want a straight line that looks to be straight. Command T to give me my bounding box. And I'm going to pull it down just a little to make it kind of thick. I'll take it right there and see what happens. That should work for now. So remember, we can erase and clean up certain areas that we don't like. So I'm going to click on my eraser. This is my eraser tool, and I'm going to also click on the foreground color and take my eraser all the way up. You see the little circle here? I'm dragging it all the way up to the top left-hand corner because that's the whitest of the white inside the box. Click OK. Once I do that, let's see what happens though. Okay, because I'm not on that layer, so let me merge down a few things. Let me merge it together. You're basically, when you merge, you're joining everything together. Nothing moves. You won't be afraid if you mess up. So what I can do is go up to, I'm going to go look for my merging. So I'm going to go to Edit. I don't see it here. Let me go down to my layer, and I'm going to merge my visible. So now everything should be together. So let's see. Everything's merged together. No problem. So now I should be able to go in and erase as much as I want. So click on your eraser tool, go back in, look at that. You can just erase away, clean up all of those little rough areas that you're not too pleased with. And that's pretty much it. You know, like I said, when you're doing hand flats, they may not be as clean as computer, but there's still ways to make it look professional and presentable. So if I see spots over here, I'm going to see them on the left hand side. Remember, because we duplicated, we copied and pasted the layer. So I won't be here long. This is something that you can do on your own. And I want to make sure that I save it. So let me go up to File, Save As, and it's my PSD, and eventually I'll save it as a JPEG, but I'll save it as a PSD. Replace the old one that I have. I no longer need it, because I have a full back for my swimwear collection in flats, and I have the full front. So let's see, I'm going to save this. Swimwear flat front PSD. I'll save that. Yes. So right now that's actually good to go. So I have my front flat, front of the flat, back of the flat, untitled. So now I'm getting ready to create the layout. So since she's okay right now, I'm not going to color her in. If she was colored in, her hair was colored in, skin colored in, she would be ready to go. But I just want to give you a quick tutorial on how you can put the layout together. So I'm just going to basically just copy the front of the flats. Use that same marquee tool. And we'll just try to get it to fit in that in the same page as our girl. So edit, copy, go over to our girl, edit, paste. So it's there now. And of course, if it's too big, I'll hit Control T. Now I'm going to press Shift, because when I press Shift and I bring it down, bring the size down, everything will stay the same. It won't be morphed. So I have an example of the top of the flat there. Let me see. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I can move her. I doubt it, but let's see. Okay, so there is a layer, and yes, I can move her. So I'm moving her over. I wasn't sure if I locked her down or merged her or flattened her down. And obviously not. So now I'm clicking on this thing. I just want to get it to fit. And there's ways that, you know, if you want to make it bigger or larger, you can. If you want to make your sheet larger, you can do so. So now I'm going to copy the back of the flat. Marquee tool. Went in, just place that around the box. Around the flat. Edit. Copy. Go back to my layout. Edit. Paste. Let's see. Did I put the right one in? It looks like it's not there. Let's see what happened. No wonder. Okay. So the reason that this, and let me click on layer. I want to make sure that I still have only one. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the reason why the back didn't paste to the layout is because when I clicked on the front tab, it was still highlighted. So you want to make sure that this is no longer selected. So you're going to go up and click select, deselect. Now I want the back. The back is also selected. So this is the one that I want to make sure I paste down onto my layout. So I'm going to go up to edit once again, copy since it's selected, going to my untitled page again, edit and paste, and here we go. So now I can move this one over, and I can, you see how the shape of what I cut out is still there. I can actually use my magnetic lasso to highlight this and cut everything else out if I want to. But let's see if I need to do it. So let me hit Command T, Shift to keep the size or to keep the shape of my flap, and I'll move it over. So what I want to do now, I kind of want it because I hate the way that looks. So what I can do, I can actually get rid of the white, all of the white. I would just have to use my magnetic lasso to cut out all of the white. So let's try it here. I can actually, let's see, I can actually delete this layer. I can go back to the back flat of my flat, select, deselect. Now I'm just going to highlight one piece at a time. So I'll use my magnetic lasso, click on magnetic lasso, and I'm going to go around. I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like the magnetic lasso may be my friend tonight. Sometimes it goes haywire, we know that. But I believe because of the clean lines, it sticks to the image a little easier. Okay, so that's selected for me. Let's see if we like our selection. So copy, going back to my layout, edit, paste. So you see how some of the things you like, may not like, aren't cut out exactly what you like. That's the only thing. It bothers me, you know. So I'm going to try something else. I'm going to go back to the back. I'm going to select, deselect, select, deselect. And I'm going to try to use my quick selection tool. Let's see if that works. So quick selection may allow me to select everything that I want to use and not miss a beat. That's really what I want to do. I don't want to... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's see. It's selecting too much. So I'm going to deselect. I just have to try to come up with a way that works best. Where there's a will, there's a way. So let's see what I can do. I will cut as close as I can. I'm hitting Command T. So now I'm going to bring the marquee. Well, I cut it. I'm sorry. Let me hit enter. Okay, so I've selected it. I'm going to copy. Go back to my layer. Let me get rid of this layer here. So I'm clicking on it now. I'm hitting delete. Edit. Paste. And I'm bringing this bad boy in, but I'm getting ready to erase some things. So, Command plus. The bottom I can pretty much cut out and work with that, but it's everything else in between. So let's see. I definitely need to make it a bit smaller. So I'm going to hit Command plus, Shift, bring it down. I think that's a pretty good. But Shift, so bring it higher. Okay, so that should be a pretty good size. But now I'm getting ready to zoom in so I can get close to it and begin to do some erasing. I can see where I can erase. So it's really just, at the end of the day, it's really just erasing some of this here so that I can see. We can see the strings. I call them the fandangles. The fringe fandangles hanging down. So let me get over. And this layer is still highlighted. So the only thing in this layer is going to be erased. So I'll hit my eraser. Let's see how big it is. The eraser isn't big enough. I want to try to erase as much as possible. Okay, so this is big enough. Look at that. So nothing is hidden. Let me come close. I'll go back because I can still see where some of the image is covered. I don't want any of my image, my other part of the bathing suit flat covered. So I'm going to try to erase as much of this as possible. And by now, I believe you guys pretty much have it, you know. Does take time, but these are some refreshers that you can work on to get the idea down pat. Fashion designers. So this is really it, and I can bring the size of my eraser down a little bit to get closer in there. So let's see if we're missing anything. That's pretty much it. And I showed you guys. So right now you have front, back, you have the swimsuit. What you do have to do is go in and fill in that gray. I showed you guys how you can do it by hand, but this is how you can do it. Now, up close you see a little gap, or you see a little, it's not even up close, but that's okay. We'll work that out. I'm going to try to use the magic wand. So click on your magic wand. Make sure that's selected. I'm going to go down to the foreground color, and I'm going over to my gray. I can make it a little lighter. So I'm going to click inside here. Let's see if, okay. So with that being said, I have to make sure that this layer is click. So let me deselect whatever's selected down there. Let's make sure. Okay. So this is the layer that I want here. Layer 2. I'm going to click my magic wand inside that section. Yes. So now I can take my paint bucket, dump that gray in there. I'll do the same thing with the bikini bottom. So now I'm going to hit this, make sure that this is selected. This should still be layer 2 if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go back to my magic wand, click that area, click my paint bucket, bam. Let's see if I can just click right there. Can't click right there, I need to highlight it again. So let me highlight this, back to paint bucket, dump it in that area, back to magic wand, click on magic wand, click inside that hole there, in the leg, for the leg, paint bucket, dump that gray in there. Now let's back out to get a great view. I'm going to deselect because that little leg hole is still opened. So I'm going to hit select, deselect, and there you have it. Although she's not colored in, I would have done her hair, her face, arms. I would have done that by hand with the markers. But yeah, and then scanned it in. But this is just to give you a quick layout of how your swimwear collection can be. So just imagine if it was 6 versions of her, and each piece of what she was wearing, you would have a flat for that. So here you go.